Hey everyone, what is going on? This is HydroxideAnt. I'm bringing you Background Noise episode 283, and tonight we're doing something that we haven't done before in the podcast, and that is that I'm going to be doing a solo show. So, this isn't a matter of people not being available or anything, it's actually a matter of me not being available during reasonable times. This weekend, I'm going away, so I won't be around any of the usual makeup days of the podcast anyway, so I just decided why not do something I haven't done before and do a solo podcast. I think this could be a little bit of fun. It's a different pace. It's not going to be a lot of bouncing off of people. It's just going to be me talking. So I decided one of the best things to do to spark some conversation with myself would be to look up a bunch of hypothetical questions and try to answer and then give my reasoning for said answers. So, the first hypothetical question that I've come across is, you're walking in a forest and you found a black suitcase. Inside it holds $1 million and a piece of paper stained in blood with a single word, don't. Would you take the suitcase home or leave it? So, there's a lot to unpack in this scenario. Obviously, there's the obvious don't take the money because stained in blood. That that seems to be a spooky thing to me. Me personally, I might call the cops and because I'm not sure this is the case everywhere, but oftentimes when it comes to like dollar amounts or like finding money, when you find money, you bring it to like the police station, and if someone comes and claims it, then they obviously get the money. But if not, you get it back. But if the only options here are the straightforward, I take the suitcase home or I leave it, I'm going to leave it. Look, I understand how much $1 million is. If I had $1 million, my life would change, quite frankly, forever. Yes, it's not enough money to live off for the rest of my life. However, I would be able to pay off student loans. I would be able to buy some nice things and save money for the future. Maybe even buy a nice car or something. However, the warning of the word don't makes me think that it's some sort of like someone's watching you and gonna take it. So that's my answer. I'm not gonna take it. It's really hard to not take that, but I'm gonna not in this scenario. The next scenario is you are at war. You are deciphering an intercepted code. You learn two things about your enemy. A single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack on your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most effective course of action? So basically, this is a scenario where in 10 days you could end the war. But in 5 days you're going to lose people in an attack. So, do you be proactive or reactive in this scenario? And obviously, from anyone who's followed me for any time, you would know that I'm not a war general or anything. So I'm not sure what would be the correct move when it came to that realm of the world. However, I would of course inform the right people, and if I was the one who was in charge of making the action, I would probably prepare us for the attack in 5 days. Man, it would be really hard just to throw our lives away. I understand throughout history there are leaders who have done that. Hence, the Joseph Stalins of the world, who just kind of threw lives and bodies at their issues over and over and over again. Because they had the manpower to do it. I wouldn't be that kind of person. I would try to save as many lives as possible in that scenario. Okay. The next scenario is, if you could really sell your soul to the devil, what would you sell it for? Truthfully, I don't know if there is anything I would sell my soul for. Not to get cheesy, if I could, like, somehow guarantee the happiness of everyone else in my life for, like, the rest of your lives or something, maybe, but typically I wouldn't be in the business of selling my soul to the devil. I'll trade some souls with him if he wants, but nah. Just gonna leave that there, by the way. Alright, you find a book and begin to read, only to discover that it is your life. You get to the point that you are at now. Do you turn the page knowing that you will not be able to change events to come? Oh, that's fun. No. God, as soon as I found out it was my life, I'd close the book and just be done with it. Because even if there is, like, a predetermined set destination that we'll be at, you know, I don't want to know it. I don't want to know who I'll be in 10 years. I want to be who I'm going to be in 10 years, as in, like, I want to experience the world and I want to shape everything my own way. So I would stop reading it. It would be cool to know the future, because it'd be really funny if, like, oh, you went to the World Series, and in Game 7, the Yankees beat the Braves 3-1. And it'd be like, interesting. Let me use that. But then it says you can't change the events to come. I don't know. Stuff like that's hard. Okay, the next one is, if you were really a robot, would you want to know? Yeah, why not? Because if I was a robot, I'd be like, wow, I'm a robot. And then any dance I did would be called the robot, and it would be fun. It would explain the color blindness. I'm going to take a sip of water real fast. Delicious. Yeah, I just don't see why I wouldn't want to know. Because I would still be me, even if and I'd just be a robot. That'd be cool, though, because imagine going to people and being like, hey, I'm a robot. And they'd be like, nah. And then I'd just open up my control panel and be like, you see? I'm a robot. And they'd be like, no, you're not. And I'm like, I don't have any other party tricks, I'm sorry. Do you see my antennas? Are really cool antennas? And, like, I can get any channel you want, and then, like, I turn it to ESPN, maybe the Comedy Central. Anyways, the next scenario is, if you got to choose between 50 years of being incredibly happy or to live forever and be unhappy, what would you choose? To me, this isn't a hard question. I would be happy for 50 years. Because that means that, so any time the scenario has ever been brought up of living infinitely, I don't like the idea. Because I wouldn't be with the people I care about the most right now. After a set amount of time, all those people would be gone, and I'd still be alive, and I don't really want any part of that. I really enjoy the people in my life right now. I love everyone in my life. I have an amazing girlfriend. I have the best friends people could ask for. I would love to stay in this happy 50 years I've got going on, if that's the case. Man, it's really hard to... for me, like, it's hard to want to live immortally and be unhappy, you know? Like, that sounds like hell to me. So I'm gonna move on to the next one. If you could learn any one skill in the world without trying, like Matrix learning style, what would you pick? Ooh, the first thing that actually came to mind would be the ability to rapidly learn languages. Maybe, somehow I learn languages within like a week or something, you know? That would be really cool. To me, I view people who speak multiple languages as it's almost like a superpower to me, right? Because when you can't do a thing, that thing becomes so much cooler to me. Like, I've had discussions with friends in the past who aren't exactly on the same page as me, but I really love seeing someone who's good at something do it. That being said, if your thing is you are a great knitter, knit the hell out of that, man. Like, just, or woman, or somewhere in between. Do it. Have fun. Knock yourself out. And if you put it on Twitch or something, maybe I'll tune in. But rapidly learning languages. So what I was speaking is that I grew up with a large amount of people who spoke both English and Spanish, and it's nothing to them. I actually knew a few people who spoke English and Spanish and took French in high school, so they were actively learning a third language, and I was sitting there in high school not trying at all and still only to this day knowing one language. And that person, if they decide to pursue that language, would know 3 languages. And to me, that's so cool. Later on in life, like I think I've talked about on the podcast before, I took a semester of Japanese, which was a lot of fun. I knew a little bit of Japanese for a while, but language is a skill that if you don't use it, you lose it. Great example is my grandfather was adopted from another country, knew that language fluently, and lost it because he didn't speak it anymore. He came to the US and they only wanted him to speak English, so he only spoke English. He didn't really have anyone to communicate in his native tongue with, so he lost that. He still knows the curse words. Curse words. Good job, me. Curse words, though, which isn't that the most important part. Yeah, so I would pick the skill to, I don't know, if I could pick anything, I'll just pick the skill to instantly learn languages. Or the skill to understand anyone. That'd be cool. Alright, you are offered a pill that makes you 25% more intelligent, but permanently removes your hair, including eyebrows. Do you take it? So, this bald. I'm like, that's hard to not take. I might take that. 25, but it's like, it's subjective to how smart you are already, because I don't view myself as a super intelligent person. So 25% of like 1 is 25%. Yeah. So, you know, I kind of like how I view things right now, and I feel like if I was a lot smarter than I am right now, I wouldn't view life the same way. Yeah. And I think that my understanding of the world, I'm happy enough, you know? And I will not take this. I will choose to stay as my level of intelligence now. The next one, easy. If Jurassic Park were real, would you visit? No, I've seen the movies, guys. Come on. Like, as cool as it would be to see actual dinosaurs, if your answer is here, yeah, but, like, if it was real, they get it right, it'd be like, you haven't seen the movies. They know how to mess that up as good as anyone. If dinosaurs are real again, man, you know how we watch baseball, football, basketball, hockey, soccer, anything on TV? Why can't we just watch the dinosaurs on TV? I'm like, wow, those are real, aren't they? Cool. Yeah, pretty cool. Yep. Not going, because I would be that guy. I'd be the first one to 100% get eaten by the dinosaurs. Like, I'm that guy in the first 5 minutes in a movie who, like, trips into the dinosaur pen and dies. That's just my role in that, and I don't want it. The next one is, if a zombie plague were to start right now, where would you hold up? Who doesn't... Yeah. Wow. If, like, I had to go right now, probably go to, like, a local firehouse or something. I feel like places like that would be a place where a decent amount of community members could get together and do some work. Realistically, in the zombie plague, I always refer to as the zombie apocalypse. The historically best places are to go somewhere really cold. So going to Alaska or something would be the play. Because I think I never read the book myself, but the actual book World War Z, people who lived in super cold climates really didn't have to deal with the zombies because they just froze. So yeah, I think I would. My real answer is I'd go to the coldest part of Canada, or Alaska. One of those two. Okay. The next one is, if you could change one thing about how the human body has evolved, what would it be? Oh wow. I think that having a better regeneration system would be the play, because that way you could heal easier from diseases, hopefully meaning that issues like cancer and stuff would be a lot easier to combat, and people would be better, hopefully. Yeah, so I think I'm going to regeneration powers. Okay. What historic figure would make the worst ghost to be haunted by? Truthfully, I feel like a play that a lot of people wouldn't think of is a ghost that 100% spoke a different language. Because if they tried talking to you, you'd be like, wow, first of all, there's a different plane of existence barrier, and now there's also we don't speak the same language, I'm sorry. I don't know what you want. Yeah, I think that's the one. Anyone that speaks a different language. Yet again, if going back to the last one of our last few topics, if you spoke multiple languages, that wouldn't really be as big of an issue for you. Okay, if you could ask your future self from the year 2051 one question, what would it be? Gonna be corny as all corny can be, and ask, am I happy? And that's it. Okay, number 15. Would you accept a $30K per week job offer where you get paid to sit in a pitch black room and do nothing for 8 hours a day? How long do I have to keep the job? Because I'm sure that would cause some sanity issues, but why couldn't I just fall asleep and use this as my bedtime? You know? I really think that's the idea here. Yeah, no, 100%. I would take it for enough time. Because if I worked this for like a few weeks, I'd be really good, money, right? Like, how many weeks? 4 weeks would be 120K. 8 would be 24. Yeah, like, you do it for like a year, that's a lot of money. And you can really. But I feel like the issue is that you might, if you don't use this as like sleep time, your sanity might go. And I don't know the effects of that. But yeah. See, if you could listen to one band for the rest of your life, who would you pick? What one would you pick? This is hard because I feel like you have to pick someone who has a large library of music. And it has to be... It has to be a genre that you can listen to over and over again and not get sick of. And which it's not, I'm not sure what that is for me. I'm trying to think of what bands have. I'm just gonna do like what bands have the most albums. I don't care about albums sold. I just want to know most albums. Okay. Oh, this is 10 rock bands that have a lot of albums. Let's see. Wow, someone called Buckethead. It had 302 albums. But I don't know. My go-to answer, because I'm just going to dwell on this too long, would probably be Linkin Park. They're the band that I love the most growing up. I know that picking a band that probably isn't going to make any more music, rest in peace Chester, of course, isn't the strongest idea, possibly. However, they have at least 6 albums that I feel like I could listen to for a while, and I'd be happy about it too. So, what do you this is a would you rather? Would you rather travel for the rest of your life, only staying in one place for like 3 months, or never leave your home state again? If I was allowed to do this with other people, and they also had the same conditions, I probably would do this. I could imagine seeing the entire world like this. I would probably live in every state in the U.S. at one point. I would probably go to most European countries. I'd go to a few Asian countries, a few African countries. Am I missing? Australia, of course. Just everywhere. Antarctica, maybe. If you could if you could breed a hybrid animal of any 2 species, what 2 would you choose? We've talked about things like this on a podcast before. Like, if you could create your own animal, what would it be? I think something real, like, for me, dogs are my favorite animal. I love dogs. What can I combine with a dog to make it even cuter? If you had like a dog hamster, I think that'd be really cute. Let's go with that. What amount of money per month would it take for you to give up your mobile phone forever? Per month? It would have to be enough to live off of, right? Because I could easily travel with some sort of computer or go off the grid. Per month. Because in any scenario like this, I feel like the goal is to go off for amount of money that you could live off of for the rest of your life. In this scenario, never using a mobile phone again, which is very convenient to use. I would say $20K a month, because 5,000 a week sounds like amazing to me. It sounds amazing to me. Would I rather be a deep sea diver or astronaut? Astronaut, easy. If I was a deep sea diver, I couldn't tell Brecken anything about it, because she doesn't, I can't remember the name of the fear right now, but she has fear of, like, deep sea. Yeah. Would you prefer to live in the Sahara or in Antarctica? So my philosophy with this is you choose the cold place because you can keep putting layers and blankets on, but eventually in the Sahara, if it gets too hot, you can't keep taking things off once you're not wearing anything. If you were to lose all 5 of your senses, how would you know if you were truly alive? So you can't see, feel, touch, taste, or hear. Would you not? Like, I guess it'd be more of like a feeling, you know? Because you could hear your thoughts still. And I still think that there's things about us people that go beyond the typical 5 senses, like, just truth. So I think you would know based off of your thoughts, and you're still having the ability to think. I think that's the way you would know. It would suck, though, a lot. If you were the President of the United States, what would you do your first day? Questions like this are a lot harder. It's a lot harder than most people assume. You can't just go in and be president and do whatever you want and, like, pass laws and stuff. But my first thing I'd do as of right now would be to start working on a bill to overturn the making abortion illegal in the few states that have done that already. I think that's just silly. If you owned a bar, what would it look like? If I owned a bar, what would it look like? I don't know, man. Like, there's a part of me, would be cool. I'm a big fan of esports. Let's do an esports bar where we broadcast esports games. Let's see. I'm skipping a few of these because these aren't all. Ooh, okay. In the event of a zombie apocalypse, what would your hand weapon of choice be? Baseball bat. Because I'm a fan. So, for most of these scenarios, there's like a little line under it and it says always go for the chainsaw. Wrong. Chainsaws can either be run off of gasoline, I'm pretty sure, or like electricity power. And you will not always have access to those things. Things like a baseball bat are a lot better. You can just keep going. Keep going and keep going. I'm talking about like that aluminum stuff, you know what I mean? Like, that's really the play. If you could organize a car race for you and your friends where you all drive the same car, what car would you pick? It'd be smart cars just to make everyone angry. Yeah, honestly, I was trying to come up with a better answer than that. It'd either be smart cars or maybe like a Camaro. One of the different extremes. Which Ninja Turtle is the best and which would beat all the others in a fight? I liked Michelangelo. Donatello wins in the fight, though. If when you die, you are given the choice between finding out what is next or staying on Earth as a ghost to wander the planet alone for eternity, what would you choose? I would choose what is next. Because I don't like the idea of being alone for eternity. Trust me, like, I do like my alone time. I do enjoy it. However, I wouldn't want to be alone for eternity. I feel like there's a level to sadness that comes along with that I don't think I would want. If for some reason computers had never been invented, do you think the world would be a better place? Instant answer was no, but I don't know if I'm correct. Technology would not be even close to where we're at, right? Like, I think it'd be a less knowledgeable place. However, yeah, we would also not be able... We wouldn't really know what's going on in other countries as much. We would still be doing things by, like, telegram. So, I don't think it'd be a better place. Yeah. If I could buy any existing .com domain, which would it be? Would probably be like, is there ducks.com? Yeah, that's what I'd want. You're fighting war. You can choose between having a Tyrannosaurus Rex or a tank by your side. What do you choose? Wow. Okay. So, if the T-Rex obeys me and, like, knows that I'm on its side, hell yeah, T-Rex, easy. Wouldn't that T-Rex just, like, walk on the tank? Or, like, bite the gun, you know? And, like, even if it tried to shoot, it would just shoot through because the part where it bit. Yeah. How do you think your life would change if you didn't need to sleep? What would you do with the extra time? To be honest, I actually really love sleep. But if I didn't need sleep, I don't know if I'd love it as much. Oh boy. I would probably work more. Truthfully. Yeah. Would you rather know all the languages in the world or know how to play all the instruments? We were talking about this before. I'm more of an all the languages kind of person. I respect the hell out of anyone who plays instruments as well, because it's not something I do. I own 2 guitars. I learned a little bit of guitar when I was younger. However, I kind of gave up on it, and they've just been sitting there. So I feel like I need to apologize to my guitars. I'm sorry, guitars. You guys are awesome instruments. However, your owner just really did not take the time to get to learn you. So, if a person could go to the center of the Earth, what would be his weight? I don't know. Like, it says question for the physicist at the table. Man, I'm not a physicist. I'm going to say their weight now. Because, I don't know. Okay. I'm skipping through a bunch of these now. Alright, well, I think that's enough for the hypotheticals real fast. I actually wanted to just sort of give an update of sorts to my life and everything going on. I recently, like on the podcast, I finished college. So I am working 2 part-time jobs right now. One is within my major, one is not. Just doing it to make money to pay off loans and hopefully eventually live on my own or with my current girlfriend, Brecken. That would be the most ideal scenario, is making enough money to live with Brecken. That would be awesome to me. obviously just time factors and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm 23 now. I actually was thinking about this the other day. I think I might have been 17 or 18 when I started the podcast. The podcast has at least been going on for like 5 years, so, man, like, I think it's really interesting to look at the podcast as a time capsule of sorts. When you look at it like that, life gets kind of cool, There's a lot that this podcast has done for me in my life. It's really helped me stay close to a few friends. It also is a 100% time capsule, like I said. Unfortunately, there's a person who passed away who had been on the podcast episodes over 200 episodes ago at this point. And their essence and their personality will forever be captured in those episodes. So to me, at the very least, that's really cool. As long as YouTube as a site doesn't go down ever, you never know how long it'll last. But as long as this is here, these episodes are gonna be here, and I'm proud of that. I know a lot of people don't watch this. This is really a possibility that I'm talking to no one right now. And I understand. I really would. But yeah, it's a time capsule. And I think I might actually cut this episode here. I'm getting a little too sad talking about stuff. So this is a very short episode. Thank you guys for watching. I did a little bit of solo action tonight. And I hope you like it. Good night.